All right, Rob G, break it on down. Maxx Crosby. Shout out to Maxx Crosby. You know why? Because dang it, there's not too many people from my alma mater that do anything noteworthy, at least in sports. And he went to Eastern Michigan. So dang it, I am a fan.
So he's the one who went to Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, it was about 8 people altogether and throughout.
Charlie Batch went
Charlie
there.
Batch. Charlie
we
Batch.
saw Charlie.
Yep,
at the Super Bowl.
we did. Think Grant Long, who had a nice NBA career. Did George Gervin? I think George Gervin went to Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's like a handful of us.
Ron Rice
Earl
played for
Boykins.
the Lions.
Yep, Ron Rice, Earl Boykins.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's a few, but there ain't many. So Maxx Crosby's always been cool with me. But yeah, Rob G, he's got the whole bag.
Got the whole bag and an extra bag to go with it. 3 years, $106 million extension, $91.5 million guaranteed.
Plus a bag of pork rinds thrown in.
Oh, yeah, I got the hot honey one.
Yes, and so as a result, he'd be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Of course, he's been nothing but productive with the Raiders since he's been there. The only problem is all those sacks and all those pressures have not resulted in wins from my Raiders.
Rob G, I'm sorry. I know you're not going to be happy with this. What a mistake by the Raiders. He doesn't have impact on winning. And I'm not – he's getting the stats, all the numbers you want to talk about. They're empty calories. They don't equate to winning. It's not that he's not a great player. Mm-hmm. It's that you have so many – the Raiders have more holes than a golf course. You got to fill it. You got to do something. Yeah. He could get you something. Trade him to the Lions. Get some picks. Whatever it is. If you're going to really rebuild this team – by the time they build it, right, rebuild it, Crosby'd be too old. It doesn't make sense to hold on to him. And I know they did this before, Rob G, with Khalil Mack when he was their best player, and they moved on and traded, and it didn't work out, so now they're afraid to do it again. It's a mistake. And I have nothing against Crosby getting paid for his performances and his play, but I think by the Raiders – holding on to people for sentimental reasons or because you like somebody or because they do a good job, but they don't really impact what you're trying to do, which is win, is a swing and a miss by me.
So we know the position that matters the most 9.5 out of 10 times is the quarterback. They don't have that. So is he worth the money? That's an easy answer. No. But here's what I think they're doing to make sense of what they're doing. I think they're saying now with Pete Carroll, how can we set a culture of winning? How can we set a culture of this is what it takes to be great? And they probably looked at the roster and said, we ain't got a lot of guys who can point to and say, that shows greatness. That's what we want in the building. That's the guy who's here first, leaving last, working hard, and also seeing the results of his work because he's been spectacular throughout his career. So I think that's what he's being paid for, Rob. Not necessarily
that's
just
way too much money.
And
for that.
I that's why I said, is he worth it? No, nobody's worth all that.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think that's if I'm trying to analyze why they're doing it.
But he'll be there, and if they don't have players, they still won't win. Don't have a quarterback. I'm just saying, it's bad money. You just throwing money. And I know you want to reward him. He's a popular guy, and he's a team guy, and all those character guys. I get all that stuff. That works too when you're winning and you have a guy like that who can anchor the locker room.
100%. But I think
when you don't have that, because if he had that kind of impact on the culture, then why hasn't it worked over the last few years? This is my point.
Because he's been out there.
He's been there.
And he's been spectacular.
And he's been playing.
Been losing.
So now all of a sudden, because you're giving him this big bag, it's going to change? He's going to give you the culture? No. The culture comes when you go get a quarterback and you get some other pieces and you build a winning team and you start to win and be competitive on a week-to-week basis. It's not because you just gave him that money.
So that's why I think they're doing it. They're saying,
I'm saying
Pete Carroll saying, what worked for me before? Building in a great defense, the Legion of Boom had its own name. It was a thing for 4 or 5 years. What started there? Defense, great players, hard-nosed. I know I can count on, depend on, get it. Let me get that. We have that guy. Let's keep that guy. Now I have a cornerstone piece that I can build around, get a few more players on defense, and now I can say we have this on lock. No, I don't disagree, but we have this on lock now. Defensive side, covered, got a couple pieces, shutting down opposing teams. Whew, check. Now, Maxx Crosby's come out here and said, man, if we could just, I'm all here for Aaron Rodgers, da-da-da-da. They're obviously going to have to be in consideration for Aaron Rodgers, consideration for
They
Sam
need a
Darnold.
quarterback. He's just looking around saying, dude, we need a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Sam
you can't
Darnold,
win in this league without a
Kirk
quarterback.
Cousins, they're going to be in consideration because although it's going to be a rebuild, I don't think they're trying to spend 4, 5, 6 years because Pete Carroll ain't about to be here that long. You know, he's what is he, 77?
No, he's not that old.
73? He'll be 77 by the time they get
The
good.
only thing that matters is that pork chop he might have on Sunday.
Yeah,
Forget
there you
about
go.
73.
I think he's a few pork chop. Usually you say somebody's a pork chop away. He might be a few.
Okay.
He looks good. He's healthy, running around.
So he's a rack.
He's a rack. Yeah, he's a rack of lamb or something. Yeah, away than just one of the pork chop. But that's a whole lot of money for a position. The only other thing I'll say, and Rob G and I were talking about this in the beginning of the season, there's only one other position to me that fully impacts the game away from non-quarterback position. And I do think it is an impactful DN because they're the only other players who can, I can have a massive impact on this game with a handful of plays, right? You get 2 sacks or you force a couple of fumbles or you deflect a few passes, you get 3, quarterback pressures and he's got to throw bad passes. That can change a game. So aside from a quarterback, to me, a high-end DN, Aiden Hutchinson, obviously Crosby, TJ Watt, there's a handful of guys to me, Myles Garrett, that are worth the money because I can tangibly see what it does to a game outside of a quarterback. To me, they're the next position more than any other position. That's to me. But ain't nobody's worth that money. I mean, I'm just call that as it is.
It just doesn't make any sense. Rob G, you feel better about your team now?
Guys, as the only hashtag elite ball knower on this show.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
I must say
I don't know
this.
how that is watching bad Raiders football for your whole
football,
life.
and you had the nerve to think they're going to do good at the beginning of the season.
And every year, I mean,
I didn't pick them to make the playoffs this year.
This is the guy who picked the Jets and who else?
The Niners.
And the Niners in the Super Bowl. Okay.
So how much you
It's the same guy who thinks Lamar Jackson's going to break through one day.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's okay. But
I bet you I get there before your Jets pick.
You probably will.
Rob G, I'm going to have to lean with Rob Parker on that one.
We'll do that.
Look, you don't let good players leave the building, point blank, period. And no matter how good or bad your franchise is, the minute you get a good player, and by all accounts, Maxx Crosby, one of those generational types.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you let him go? And if you get a chance, and Rob, you know this, you're the salary cap guru, this side of Andrew Brandt. You can manipulate the salary cap any way you want to in the NFL. Right now, the Raiders got, I think, the second or third most cap space this offseason. By locking in your guy now, when the cap keeps going up and up and up and up and up, you're in a beneficial spot because the same thing happens with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen right now is criminally underpaid at like $40 million.
But you need more pieces, Rob G. And my point is,
every team needs more pieces.
I know, but
the team we're going to talk about in the next segment, the 2 out of 3 Super Bowl champions, they need pieces.
No, I know, but the Raiders really need pieces. And my point is,
a quarterback.
Right, but you need to be able to add to that team to give yourself a chance. I just think. It's nice. It sounds great. It's a great story, and you want to reward
you don't like
those guys.
anything.
What?
You just don't like anything.
Saquon
didn't deserve the money.
No.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You shocked me with that one. I told Rob G that
yards,
when we talked about it.
Have paid him.
I said, all right, that was a little.
Rob don't like seeing players get paid.
Rob, you're the weird. Rob Parker, you love people getting the bag, but you really don't love people getting the bag.
He don't want competition when he's at the car dealership to get that really nice car.
No, ain't no
he's like, no, I want to see this hot shot.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
trying to buy my car.
Hey, do you like red? Well, I wanted the blue one. Yeah, but Saquon Barkley's gonna buy that one. I knew they should have never gave him the money. Yeah, I'm actually shocked by that. I told Roger that yesterday, didn't I?
Yes,
I said,
did.
Rob always acting like he player empowerment and get money, but you always poo-pooing on him getting some money.
There's no reason for the Eagles to do what they did. That was.
But be happy for Saquon.
I'm not
be happy for Maxx Crosby.
No, I'm not. I just think it's ridiculous. All right.
Well, we know who's not going to subscribe to MLBBro.com.
That's right.
Let me tell you, they call me, hey, Kelvin, we love what you guys are doing. The numbers are going crazy. We're just thinking, we're thinking about giving Rob a huge increase and just give him a new deal. And I'm be like, he doesn't deserve it. He's under contract for another 2 years. I think you guys are crazy for paying Rob now. Why would you extend him? You don't have to. He's got 2 years. Yeah,
what you guys were saying?
Yes, I would go full Rob Parker on Rob Parker.
Wow. All right.